All right. Hey, we're here. We're live.
What? Todd, we're live?
We are.
We're on?
We're on. We're over here like, when's the music going to stop playing?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Our Town Podcast
Extraordinaire.
And this is episode number 13, guys. Lucky number 13. And tonight we're doing the big 80s movie spectacular.
I guess in a word.
Yeah, exactly. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Oh, no, that was like monster truck racing, wasn't it?
Sure, and I bet driving stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how's it going, guys?
It's good. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Happy, dare I say, should I say it? Dare I say, happy Hump Day? We didn't have the sound. Did we?
I have it. It's not
just not
programmed
there. Okay,
into the board right now.
It's a movie for your mind.
It is.
Just imagine.
You can see the little musical notes bounce across your brain cells. Hey, how was your guys' week?
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, anything awesome going on?
Awesome city. My honey went off to Alaska today.
Oh, that's right. You had to get her to the airport
To the
today.
airport.
Yeah.
Which is, oh, man, C-Town.
What's up in Alaska?
What's going on there?
She's got a friend up there.
Oh,
so
okay.
her friend Kat Rhodes and Greg Rhodes, Greg Rhodes, Rhoades, he just released an album. So, yeah, he's a
What kind of music?
neat kid. Damn. I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, okay.
I bet it's
It's awesome, whatever it is.
It's the kind with guitars,
he's a cool guy.
microphones, and a drum kit,
I need to buy
probably.
it. Sorry, Greg, I'm on it. And I think it's on Bandcamp and such.
Okay.
And his honey, Kat, is an amazing painter, visual artist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. What part of Alaska are they chilling in?
They're in Anchorage.
Okay.
But they've got friends in Girdwood, which is nearby, so they're going to head up to Girdwood.
Okay. All right. Yeah, cool. What about you, Todd? Anything spectacular for the Spectacular 80s show? Anything happened this week?
I mean, I watched. I'm all caught up on Mandalorian. I watched the newest one. Earliest one, like right after midnight, I watched it. So
Do we have a 3-episode review?
the third episode was
Well, not just for the season. Any kind of thumbs up, thumbs down, or just...
so far it's a good show. I mean, episode 3 was did this kind of weird left turn where it focused on like two characters that you don't see much up until now.
Hopefully it's the mechanic lady.
Right.
It's not. It's the geneticist guy that he gets hurt. I think in the first or second season, they clip his ear or something.
Yeah.
He's the one that helped them catch Gideon.
Okay.
The guy with the round glasses.
All right. So still, I mean, it's not as great maybe as the first season so far, but
the first 2 episodes were pretty cool. I mean, exactly what you expect to see from The Mandalorian, but this third episode was like, why are they going on? There's a reason for it. It's not apparent yet.
Okay.
It's probably going to make a lot more sense by the end of the season.
Sure.
But each episode's only like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's
so it is
30. It depends.
40.
Sometimes they're like 45 minutes. Sometimes they're 29 minutes. But it's weird. They're never. They're not all uniform.
Yeah. All right.
And there's always like 15 minutes of credits. So if you look at the video length, you really can't tell.
Gotcha.
It's neat, and it's a huge production team.
Yeah.
So they're keeping
Hey, what was the name of
California
that your friend's band? I could probably look it up.
His
if they're on
name is
band.
Greg Rhodes.
Greg Rhodes.
Yeah, and he's a cool cat. He really is. I think he's an air traffic controller by Craig.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he's a neat guy.
And Rhodes is spelled like
Randy Rhodes.
What is that? What do they call it? Pushing tin or something like that?
ROADS.
RHOAD.
Oh, there we go. RHOAD.
Nice.
Yes.
I think
Always like new music and
I
checking
gotta Google
out
that.
stuff. So
I'm pulling it up now. You can tell me which one it is. Tap on it, whatever.
I don't know if Mike knows.
Yeah, no, this one right here. Yeah, the Dearly Departed and They Recently Returned.
Go ahead and,
That's his brand new record.
Go ahead and select one and play it.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, man, please. Yeah. Hey, Greg, you owe me a quarter. But I need to buy your record, so...
long intro.
Yeah.
Let me skip ahead a little bit. Sorry about that.
That's something totally different.
Nice. It has a kind of like a '60s era Beatles feel to it.
I was thinking the same thing, like a little Beatles inspiration going on.
I dig it, man. You know what? When I have money, I'm going to buy it.
I think that's 3 out of 3 thumbs up.
You got my money, Greg.
Yeah, cheap, right on.
Nice. But is it tactile, or do I just download it?
I don't know. It depends. On Bandcamp, you get the choice.
I think it gives you a choice.
It was mostly a joke for Todd, because Todd always makes fun of my
I don't make fun of you.
Sensibilities. I
don't make fun of you for it. I'm just saying that I don't buy physical media anymore because it always gets stolen or misplaced.
I kid. It's because I'm old. And I had a conversation with the wife a couple nights ago, crawling into bed, and I looked at her and I said, honey, getting older, man, my hands aren't going to work. I'm not going to be able to tie my shoes. I'm not going to be able to buckle my belt. So I'm going to need help. And I kind of looked at her and she says, what, to shave your balls? And I said, yeah, it's exactly what, I mean, that's what happens when you're together with somebody for 12 or 14 years. Right?
No joy. But it's also, that just shows the trust that has been built.
Exactly. I would trust nobody else.
So wait, are you telling us that you shave your nuts?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get that Manscaped. I'm a hairy boy.
I used to, but that's because I was in swim team.
Yeah.
All right. I shaved everywhere because less resistance.
Yeah.
I also poked out of the.
Yeah. Is that the Romanian swim team?
Well, I mean, let's just put it this way. I thought I looked weird if I didn't shave everywhere because I would shave my arms and my legs, and then the rest of me would be hairy.
That's hardcore.
Yeah,
I think it is a swimmer's thing.
Yeah, swimmers and bikers.
Yeah.
Well, bikers do.
Well, now they have those. Now they have those swimsuits that swimmers can wear that cover their entire body, so they don't have to do that anymore.
Oh yeah.
This was back in the '80s and early '90s. So
I would just dive into a bee's nest and be covered in wax.
Just take a bath with Nair.
Yeah. Did Nair get outlawed?
No. I think you can still get it
because it seems dangerous. Right? It's kind of the Agent Orange of skin products.
Like 3 or 4 episodes back on my other podcast, Marianne was talking about Nair, and she thought Nair would be a good way to get rid of the little bit of fuzz she had on her upper lip right before like a school dance. And she goes, I didn't go to the school dance largely because my upper lip looked like I had like a 3rd-degree sunburn on it.
She had a red mustache and some peach fuzz.
She refused to go to school until the redness subsided. So,
oh man,
I don't blame her.
Mask or something.
All right.
I'm not an animal.
I have set the countdown clock, even though, as we've established in the past, we don't follow it, but it is a guide for us. And just so you guys know, this week's safe word is streusel.
What is it word?
Streusel.
Yes.
So, like we mentioned, this is our 80s movie spectacular, and our goal tonight is to talk all things 80s cinema, right? The big, the bold, the beautiful, the cheap, the quick, the dirty, everything in between, man. So, who wants to kick us off? I mean, give us some reflections on going to the movies in the 80s.
I was a kid in the 80s, so I don't know how expensive it was, but I imagine it would be considerably cheaper to buy a ticket in the 80s, because I remember it had to be late 80s because I was in high school in 87. So I went to the Factoria Cinema, and I remember paying, I think, $8 for like the before 12 noon movies.
The matinees.
The matinees. That's the word I was looking for.
Was it $8 back? 87? Yeah, I guess maybe.
And that Factoria's a nice theater. That was a really.
Well, I mean, it was. I don't know if it still is.
Factoria's got the reclining seats, the big lazy.
Oh, it's an AMC now. Okay, because back then it was Cineplex Odeon, and they didn't have anything nice.
Yeah, nobody did back then.
Last I saw there might have been Solo, a Star Wars.
That's a great movie. I loved it.
Yeah, got to do the lean back and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, movies in the 80s were cool, man, but now they've got production budgets that seem like they're so high that they have to charge, right?
I think the real reason why they're charging more is because, well, number one, they're greedy. Number two, because, bootlegging is a thing. So...
Yeah. Sure, and they're not getting crowds. It's like bowling alleys, where we're not getting as many people in seats. As
right.
I mean, just the pandemic.
With all the options.
Yeah, the pandemic didn't help it either. Considering
but
like
streaming
most
services are doing it, right?
Streaming services started taking the new movies. So
yeah, I can sit at home with my headphones on with snacks and shit.
Yeah, I don't have to. I don't have to spend $50 on popcorn and a 32-ounce Coke.
You breathe in other people around you, right?
No, that's the thing. But there's something to be said about that shared experience, which we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why people out listening to us now, I'm sure, gathered around a fire somewhere. By the tents.
We should invent that. We should
Fireside theater.
We should invent a device that allows you to listen to podcasts while sitting around a campfire or something.
Yeah.
They call it a boombox or something. Yeah.
But movies back then, it seemed like more of an event, right? There was lines around the block, going to Empire or Return of the Jedi, people in costume and stuff.
I didn't see any of the costumes back in the 80s, but that was, I think, more of a 90s thing, wasn't it? I mean, when they re-released the movies in the late 90s, that's when people were showing up in full costumes.
So there's been more cosplay as time's gone on, for sure.
That might be it. But
there's
might be throwing in different years of experiences.
It could. I have seen photos of people like wearing like homemade costumes and homemade lightsabers and stuff from like the early 80s.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first movie for sure, but it was more than likely going to be like Empire or Jedi that it had those things.
Was the 80s the decade of the blockbuster, though?
Yeah.
I think. I mean, and that has happened since the 20s or whatever for film, and theater,
Indiana Jones, I think, was the first blockbuster, wasn't it?
Is that what they consider? What do they consider blockbuster? Like hitting 500 million or something?
I don't know the financial side of things. I just know that
I remember huge lines around the block,
insanely popular,
and staying in theaters like
forever.
For months,
in theaters for over a year, nonstop,
right?
Unheard of. Yeah.
I remember seeing it at a drive-in, like a good 6-7 months, maybe a year later after it came out, and I was like, "We're gonna see it in a drive-in. This is gonna be cool." And
how was that experience?
I fell asleep because it was late.
Drive-ins. I've been a few times, but they never really enticed me.
Dude, the last time I went to a drive-in was the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. They had Keith Richards in it, and I literally got about 30 minutes in and fell asleep.
Something about being in the car? Or?
It's just it's late at night. It was like the movie didn't start till like 10:30. This is before I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, so I would just randomly fall asleep whenever it was quiet enough.
I think that's a sign of deep wisdom, actually.
And I actually had friends who would get endlessly angry with me because we'd go to see movies and I'd be
I know I've done that a lot.
As long as you paid.
Right? Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, I think that time that was the time they paid.
Yeah, but the 80s, the picture, and some theaters were still kind of old fashioned because we had the Roxy across the street and the Renton Theater,
right?
And the screens comparatively were just tiny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the sound wasn't great, right? Lucky if you had stereo at all.
Dude, the drive-in
came along later, but people were in seats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's kind of the thing. It was still
sold
part of the social. It's more. At least in the 80s and Ring, that loop would come right by here. You know what I mean? So like being part of that whole downtown thing.
I was talking about sound. the drive-ins, the old school drive-ins didn't even have like the radio frequency thing that you tune in to listen on your car stereo. They literally had a little
squawk box.
With
a 3-inch speaker. Maybe.
Yeah, it sounded like an old AM radio. So you're watching like this epic movie.
Prince Albert in a can. No, but we have Indiana Jones.
You got you're watching this big epic movie, and it's coming through this tiny little speaker. You know? The first time I went to a movie that had THX, I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. Now that is like an average movie experience for people now, is to hear like Dolby surround sound and THX.
Is that when THX was in the 80s, wasn't it? Do anybody know the first movie that
it was Star Wars, I think, wasn't it? Because it was Industrial Light and Magic was the people who made it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I feel like the 80s, everybody, tried to outdo the next thing, right?
Oh, yeah, no, it was huge. Just bigger
everything was bigger and badder.
Bigger muscles, more bullets.
Bigger action heroes,
yeah. But, practical effects are expensive, and... so it was just different. It kind of had more build up to these big things. As opposed to like all of it just being beyond belief, CGI can do anything, which is magnificent. Yeah. But it was just, you know what I mean? It's like, it was just a different kind of build.
Were you guys in families that only went to the movies that had like award nominees and stuff?
Oh, no.
Because my mom was all about seeing the movies that were like, this one's got an award, or it's nominated for blah, blah, blah. I was like,
so we should go see it.
We have to go see it. I'm like, I really don't want to see this movie, Mom. She's like, can we go see that instead? She's like, that's not getting any awards. She's like, I don't care. That looks interesting.
Yeah.
They did take us to Chariots of Fire.
I vaguely remember that.
Great soundtrack, though, man. Vangelis.
That's
great.
Blade Runner
That's the only thing I remember about that movie is the soundtrack, honestly.
And a bunch of British guys, little pasty white guys running.
Yeah. It's like kids don't give a fuck.
How's the what?
We're running down the beach.
Yeah.
And then
we're going to be Nazis that are going to pop out and shoot the shit out of everybody? What's going on?
First we're running down the beach. Then we're running down the street. Now we're running on a track.
I was a kid when they took me to go see, what's the prison movie of Dustin Hoffman?
Which one?
Where he's on the island prison.
Papillon, yeah.
I was like,
I don't know that one.
What the fuck? Oh, it's awful.
I think I saw that listed on. I was looking at the Oscars website for ideas of movies to talk about, and I think I saw that one listed.
It's a good movie.
I think it won some awards.
It's not for kids.
Yeah.
Not a kid's flick. I remember asking my mom to go see a movie called Force 5, and we had either saw a trailer for it, or we saw it like in a newspaper advertisement. It was about 5 kung fu karate experts that came together, and they were going to go beat the shit out of somebody, rescue somebody, something. And she's like, no, but it's rated R. And I'm like, Mom, it's probably just, fighting and stuff. She's like, no, it might have been some boobies or something, but didn't get to go.
Boob.
I think I must have been probably 11 or 12, right? But I finally got to see it about 3 years ago. It was on like MGM Plus or Epix or whatever it is, and just didn't hold up at all. But I finally got to see it, which crossed off a bucket list item. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
I think one of those movies I wanted to see, my mom refused to go see it, was I think it was the Cabbage Patch Kid movie. I really wanted to see it because, or not Garbage Pail Kids. That's what it was.
Sure.
Not Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh man.
And I watched it like about 10 years ago. I was like, God, this is horrible. I mean, they don't even look like the ones from the cards.
Yeah.
No, and that's when parents are obligated to not let their kids go see the Garbage fucking Pail Kids movie. You can't be a parent back then.
And it was
nowadays, they're like, no, I'll take you to do anything you want. You know what I mean? But no, back then, the parents had to say no. Oh, you want to go see Heavy Metal? No. You know what I mean? There's fucking boobs everywhere in that movie. They're like, parents had to say no.
That was the first time I saw boobs in a movie was on Heavy Metal. But no, I remember the advertising for Garbage Pail Kids, and it's like with the brother of Sean Astin, Mackenzie. I'm like, oh, hey, it's the brother of Mikey from Goonies.
Oh.
Like, cool, I'll go see it. And Mom was like, no, I don't want to see that. It's like, but Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then most recently, I discovered, or I was told, the reason why I wasn't able to go see the original Top Gun movie with my mom or sister is because, one, my mom doesn't see movies more than once. Two, my sister just, no, I'm not taking my little brother to see Tom Cruise in a movie.
How dare you?
She went with her girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and big siblings don't want to hang out with younger siblings, right? And there's no way.
And it wasn't.
It like narked me out to the door people when I tried to go see Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, serious? Yeah,
which
he's too
we'll
young.
be discussing later. Yeah, he totally did.
Yeah,
he's only 8.
Yeah,
wow.
Don't let the stubble fool you.
yeah. I only had to shave once a day.
He's been growing his chops since he was 8.
Hey.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Mike's younger than he looks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of movies, we are here in the projection room of the Renton Civic Theater, which
Big metal door behind me
works well. And did you guys know that in the 80s, this theater was actually a porn theater?
I remember.
It was a standard theater, and then it was a porn theater.
Yeah.
80.
I remember asking.
When did it switch over?
Well, there was a Supreme Court case based on this theater, and I don't remember the year. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because the Renton City Council made an ordinance that you can't have a adult theater close to a school, and Renton High School, within like a mile or something.
Yeah, it's like 3 blocks away from the high school.
Yeah. And the guy that owned the place ended up losing.
Yeah.
Purity zone. Exactly.
Yeah, but I remember famously, like Ed Meese and the justices themselves were like watching thousands of hours on our dollars. They're like, well, we need to find out what's offensive.
What is it?
Yeah.
And
this is something pornographic.
I have to watch that again. I didn't last quite long enough.
His name wasn't Waters. What was it?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. Right downstairs, there's a nice board set up about it. Yeah. So it was a major case.
Definitely was.
Forbes. His name was Forbes.
I was gonna say Waters. Isn't that the guy that did like hairspray?
Or the guy that owned it.
No, the guy that owned this theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the court case would be.
I remember this theater being a porn theater because across the street was the normal like Roxy.
Yeah, but I saw regular movies here too.
And I remember seeing Goonies there.
Nice.
And I remember coming out and they had like the posters that just said XXX on it, and then it had like scantily clad women with things strategically covered.
So the Goonies, it was Poonies.
Hey, you guys!
And the whole chunk dance.
The truffle shuffle.
Truffle shuffle meant something completely different.
Yeah, jiggling your boobs.
Yeah.
That's gonna make for a great shorts video.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want more information on the Renton Civic Theater, go to rentoncivictheater.org.
It's history, yeah.
And
spent a lot of time at the Roxy. Also.
A lot of $1.50 movies over
for
there.
a long time.
And that stale popcorn they used to have.
Oh, yeah. But you could refill your bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
Young people don't care.
Yeah.
Back when they had real butter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And nobody's taking, a date to the cheap theater where all the kids are.
Oh, baby.
Hear the bottles.
Dude.
You can get popcorn.
I stopped going to the cheap theater for movies because people just don't care. They have their phones out. They're like, this movie sucks, And it's like, remember last time I went to the theater and someone had their phone? I was like, put your phone away. We're trying to watch a movie. Let me just watch the movie. Leave me alone. I was like, you're interrupting the experience for me. Put your phone away.
Yeah. All right, well, back to the 80s movies, man. Just a crazy amount of talented people, actors, and directors and stuff that came,
right?
Just exploded in the 80s, right? What are some of your guys' favorite action movies from the 80s?
I mean, I wrote them down on the Google Doc just because I was like, I'm probably not going to remember all these while I'm thinking about them. But essentially, all the movies that I enjoyed that were action were like all like Spielberg or Lucas movies.
Okay, so like Jaws and stuff.
Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Predator, Die Hard, Highlander are some of the ones. And then, of course, the other Indiana Jones, Last Crusade was probably my favorite.
I heard a funny story about Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Who was in, was he Jaws 4? Was it Jaws? Or was it Jaws 3D?
It might be the 3D.
It might have been 3D. And
I have them. I haven't watched them in a long time.
Somebody came up and asked, Michael Caine's like, dude, was it as awful as everybody says it is? And he goes, I don't know. I didn't see it, but I have seen the house I bought from the money I made from the movie.
Good answer, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So.
Michael Caine.
Yeah. Jaws, did that come out in the 80s?
75.
75.
75 for Jaws. The first
Rocky
Jaws.
was 76.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Honorable mention.
I had to look movies up to find out what year they came in, because there's a lot of movies that I remember being in the 80s that weren't.
Yeah, the biggest Rocky, I think, came out in the 80s, though. That was...
Rocky 3?
Rocky...
Oh.
3 was that Drago?
No,
Rocky 4 was Drago, where it was like America versus the Iron Curtain. Right?
I thought that was 3, because I thought
3 is Mr. T.
It was Creed T Drago.
Oh, okay. So 5 was the one that had his son that was all.
Had his son in it, and they lost all their money.
With Tommy Morrison.
Yeah. But man, 4 was like huge. I remember like seeing that movie and coming out of the theater. It's like, who wants to fight, man? Let's go.
Living in America.
Oh, don't mess with James Brown.
No, I'm not poking fun at all. That was the shit back in the day, man.
No, it's how you make a movie that gets in the fields and
immediate underdog.
And
by the time that movie came out, it was like I was starting to
remember he buys a robot.
I was starting to realize there's a formula to the movies. He's like, he's down on his luck, and he's and then at halfway point, he's like, come on, Rock, and then there's like,
is that $1 billion franchise?
It probably is.
Probably.
It's got to be by now, right?
Well, with the Creed movies, it's improved on it. I haven't watched any of those, and I need to, because
I enjoyed it. I saw the first 2, and I'll see the third.
The last one had the son of Drago, and actually I think
and Bridget Nielsen.
Was she in it?
Yeah. And Dolph. Yeah.
Dolph
because it's their son.
It's their kid.
She's
And
a meanie bo beanie.
That's also the last one that has Rocky in it. The next one's not going to have Rocky in it.
Yeah. Man, but it was always the underdog, right? There's always something. He had to battle back. He always got his ass kicked. But the funny thing about
montage with the
training montage and everyone, that's the formula. And
my life is a training montage.
And at the very last second, he always like, he pulls it out and just like, and he has to beat the guy at the last second.
Well, his theory is wear the guy out by letting him beat the crap out of me for 10 rounds. Yeah. And then once the guy's tired of kicking my ass, then I'm going to get some punches.
It's like a rope-a-dope, but damaging.
It's like, and that's why he's probably dead by the 5th or 6th movie, because he's just too busy getting his ass whooped in the first 3/4 of the movie.
They're cool, though. Yeah, my first date was Rocky 3 at the South Center Theater.
Oh, really?
With Julie Nelson.
Nice. Hi, Julie. What's she up to now?
She's a mom. Okay. She's cool. I haven't seen her in a long time, but we're Facebook friends.
All right on.
Hi, Julie.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rocky to Sylvester Stallone to Rambo, right? I mean, was there a bigger action star? Maybe Arnold.
Maybe Stallone.
But Arnold.
Yeah, maybe Arnold.
Physically and figuratively, he's bigger.
That's true.
But he was those guys, and the Van Dammes were kind of the almost there. But
I actually.
Jackie Chan.
Didn't technically meet the man. He walked past me, so I was like, Jesus Christ, was that Stallone? He's so tiny. Yeah. He's like 5'4". He's itty bitty. He's not as big as he looks in movies and TV. No, for sure. He's only
going back to Rocky 4. Didn't he get hospitalized because Drago punched him in the chest and during the filming of that? In
the real world he got
zinged and should have zagged, and he got punched super hard in the chest by Drago and had to be hospitalized. I think that's the thing.
That's a great way to get people in seats, man. Yeah. Start that rumor if it's not true.
Right.
And Dolph Lundgren is like a complete overachiever. He's got multiple degrees. Oh, yeah. He is.
He's several languages.
He's only one away from a doctorate, right?
Right, on something. He's a pretty amazing human being.
Really smart. He plays dumb people, but he's really smart.
And I think he was some type of, back when it was full contact karate, remember, way before MMA or whatever, right? But I'm pretty sure he was some type of trained martial artist like that. Yeah.
In the last couple of years, or I think before the pandemic, he was at at International Comic Con in San Diego, and was when they made the announcement that Netflix was going to have a new Masters of the Universe cartoon, and they had everybody who's ever had anything to do with He-Man in the panel, and he was one of the people that showed up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so he was,
Is that the Kevin Smith directed one?
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. You're probably going to get mad at him though, because he really, I mean, it's stunning animation. The cast is also very, very good. I think the story is what pissed people off the most.
Did he write that?
Yeah, I mean, he was like the head writer, but I mean, it was his ideas that they put onto the screen, and well, I mean, if you guys haven't seen it and you want to see it, I won't say anything, but basically he kills off some key people in the universe of He-Man. So you can't do that.
Not Ram Man, I hope.
Rammy.
No,
I guess
he's still alive.
Yeah, action hero guys, because Arnold is in more of my favorite movies.
Right.
Yeah,
Same.
Let's talk about Arnold, because he's bigger than life.
Because
right?
I mean, Terminator is one of the best action movies. Period.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. It's well done.
Yeah.
And Conan the Barbarian is
Get to the genre.
It's the best of the genre.
I mean,
that's ever been done.
Commando was cool, from a body count,
Dude,
one man body count.
Isn't that the one where he's like, "Remember when I told you I was going to kill you last?"
I lied.
I lied.
Yeah, that had John C. Kelly. What the hell is that guy's name?
I don't know. I just remember that was so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, where did so and so go? I let him go, and I was like, holy shit, dude.
That was another part of the 80s, right? It was all the funny one-liners.
It was the bad puns that were so fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, Cobretti, right? It's like,
oh god, I almost forgot about Cobretti.
Disease. I'm the cure.
I'm the cure. No,
yeah.
Speaking of Rocky, though, real quick, I was watching on your guys' recommendation, Russian Doll. Watch the first season. Sure. Great first season. But Paulie's in it. Rocky's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's got a small part in there.
I can't remember the actor's name.
I can't either, but he in a couple, I'm like, what the fuck? That's Paulie.
I only watched like the first episode of Russian Doll, and it was man, I think it's the whole like regurgitating the same date over and over again.
It's interesting though, and I really like where it ends up.
Yeah. So, well, the first season was an interesting ending. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're going to do in the second season, so I'm curious. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll push through.
Yeah, Netflix.
I mean, I like the actress and I like the people that are involved. The whole like doing the same thing over.
It's trippy though. I don't know. I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Yeah.
Or it did for me anyway.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I'll try it again.
And I loved all the ways she dies and just waiting for it. And sometimes she dies once this episode. Sometimes she dies multiple times an episode.
She's like, just waiting for it. It's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, back to the 80s, man, and back to Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah.
Man,
it seems to have matured into a pretty decent human being.
Yeah,
not
a bad
because he was a mega jock. Remember, it's like, have you guys seen Pumping Iron?
No,
because it's pretty amazing.
Isn't that the doc that he did when he was like 19 or whatever?
Yeah, when he was still like beating everybody to be Mr. Universe for I think 5 consecutive rounds or something. It's like, and he just psychs everybody else out. It's great. Yeah, it's really it's a cool show.
His first movie role was Hercules in New York,
which I've never seen. Yeah.
It's on Freevee, and that version they have on Freevee has his actual speaking voice in it.
Oh, really?
The one that was released in theaters was dubbed with somebody who can speak English with no accent
at all.
And the way he's always like this. He's always doing like that. Like, I have a huge chest. I must show it to everybody. Kind of pose.
Early on.
Was there a bad Arnold movie in the 80s?
You mean Beyond Hercules?
Well, okay, Beyond.
That was a terrible movie.
That was 70s.
Okay.
80s. I mean, Last Action Hero was bad, but that
was 90s.
90s.
I think that's
1992. I think.
Yeah.
Actually, on the top 5 for the bonus, I put number 5 was Jack Slater. They're like, wait, that's not 80s, that's 90s. So I can't put that on the list.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I just enjoyed him in everything.
But I can't think of it. Yeah.
I was a teenage
And
boy.
it's that formula, right? It's like where he's just an unstoppable but moral guy,
Killing machine.
right? Yeah. He's the good guy, but he kills 300 people.
Unless he's a Terminator.
Of all the bad '80s movies that had like a muscular dude, all the ones that come to mind are Hulk Hogan. So I can't think of a bad Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah, I can't either. Van Damme made a few bad ones, but it's Van Damme, so you kind of...
Van Damme's movies are so bad they're fucking awesome.
And he's just
they're just a step above. They're just a step above Steven Seagal movies.
Yeah,
which are all they're just all bad parodies of Schwarzenegger films. Is what they are.
It's the same kind of formula, right?
Yeah, it's like. Except for you believe Schwarzenegger can actually do those things, and those other guys are just like, okay, I have a wig on, so what?
And some kitchens make better soup than others.
Yeah,
right?
This is true.
That's how it is. It's got the same basic shit going into it, but some of them are just kind of, it just works.
Not everybody can be Gordon Ramsay, right?
Yes, being yelled at by Gordon Ramsay.
Any Van Damme movies that stick out to anybody?
Bloodsport, right?
Bloodsport.
Isn't that when it came out with Bolo Young?
Bolo, I was just going to say that guy's in every kung fu movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
Every single one.
I don't know if he's still around or not.
I think he is.
He is. Right. He's got to be in his 80s, probably 70s, 80s.
And then he did, recently, he made Jean-Claude Van Damme the movie, right?
He did a movie. I think it's just called Van Damme. But yeah, he plays a parody of himself.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
He's like a has-been actor who was a famous action star in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's just doing whatever he can to make a buck.
Yeah, I enjoyed Van Damme. He wasn't as...
he was not.
I don't know, maybe the writing just wasn't there.
Came out, remember that? Like Michael Dudikoff.
American Ninja 1 through whatever.
Yeah. Okay, the original American Ninja was one of my favorite 80s movies. I was huge into ninjas because of that movie. I love ninja movies.
Yeah, Dudikoff, and who was what was his buddy that was always there? The big dude was a sergeant in that one, African-American fellow.
Me.
He's been in
Let
a
me
bunch
get on the
IMDb's movies and stuff, but
we're looking up.
There's not to share Mifune. He was much earlier, but who's his 80s version? Just like oh man, he was in all of them. God, I can't remember. Sho Kasagui. Yeah, he was a ninja. Yeah, no, he was the bad guy though.
Always.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we looking for on American Ninja?
Just his sidekick.
Steve James.
Yeah, the big guy,
big black dude.
Yeah. He was in a bunch of 80s movies, I think, too.
Yeah.
Lower budget. American Ninja was lower budget, right? And one you guys haven't talked about, as far as kung fu and karate movies, Ralph Macchio,
Karate Kid, the
All
original
Valley.
How many of those were there?
There was 3 with him,
and then one with what's her face,
Hilary Swank.
Swank. Yeah, I never saw that.
But that might have been 90s by then.
That was early 90s, I think.
Yeah,
but the original 3 were in the 80s.
Yeah, that guy's had a good career too.
Cobra Kai's got its last season coming out in the next couple of months.
Oh, are they finally ending it? I got to catch back. I watched the first couple seasons.
Oh, dude! Once it moved over to Netflix, it got way better.
Oh, did it really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, no shade to YouTube, but yeah, it got way better when it was over on Netflix.
Yeah, nice. And then who was I just thinking of? Another kung fu. Chucky Norris, man.
Oh, sure.
Charles Norris.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, MIA. What was all the...
Yeah, remember that when everybody was going back to Vietnam?
Everybody was going back to Vietnam. They had success with Rambo, right?
Oh, yeah.
That
Rambo
went back, and then they had to, copycat.
Gene Hackman had one, and
he had Uncommon Valor.
Yeah.
Was that must have been... was that before Rambo?
Was that before?
After Rambo?
Was that before or after Superman?
Because he was Deer Hunter, right?
Right, Deer Hunter.
Rambo was only like 8 years later.
And then they did like a huge amount of Vietnam-based films in the 80s. You had Full Metal Jacket, you had Platoon, you had Hamburger Hill.
Vietnam was like in the 60s, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's that 20-year rule, right?
Yeah, it's 20 or 30-year difference. Because when they did something happened to your phone over there. when they did the A-Team movie, instead of being Vietnam or Korean War, it was Desert Storm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that film though.
I did too.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
You know what's awesome is like the year that it came out, I went and saw Dirk Benedict at Emerald City Comic Con, and I walked up and was like, dude, I went to see the movie because you and Dwight were in the movie. And then they cut your scene. He goes, "Yeah, man, I'm really sorry about that." I was like, "No, I mean, I waited to the end credits to see you guys. You were the reasons why I went to see the movie because I loved the show as a kid."
Yeah. Who's the other guy? Who's Dwight?
Murdoch.
Murdoch, yeah, Dwight Schultz.
Sure.
Played Murdoch.
All right.
And Mr. T had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, George Papard died in like the 90s.
Yeah, I sure like George Papard.
I would love it if they did a new version of the A-Team as a series, not another movie, but a series would be awesome.
Yeah, man. Vietnam was huge. Like Todd was saying, the 20 to 30 years, that's kind of the rule, right? In the 70s, you had Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, kind of the Sha Na Na, looking back to the 50s, and then you get to the 80s, and then looking back at the 60s.
People have to rewrite their history.
Yeah. I recently, in the last month, went looking for Sha Na Na on YouTube, and I found a whole playlist of their episodes.
Oh, nice.
So if you're not familiar with Sha Na Na, it's Sha Na Na. 3 letters.
Who were a band?
Three words.
Like they were at Woodstock.
They were. Was it? Yeah, it was Woodstock.
They were at the original Woodstock.
Yeah.
I think they were.
And what actual members were consistent all the way through? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it's a large ensemble.
Bowser's still alive too.
Right.
He's like in his 80s now.
Yeah.
That's a good gig, right?
Right.
Yeah. It was like the show itself was like a variety show, but it was like all
skits and guest stars,
50s era type.
Was that 70s or 80s? When
it came out in the 70s.
All right.
And the show was all about like the 50s, and it was because of the popularity of Grease.
Sure.
Is why the show became a thing, because they were also in Grease, weren't they? Weren't they the band on stage?
Maybe.
I think they were the band on stage at the dance.
I couldn't tell you when I
haven't seen it in forever.
It's been forever.
I need to get myself a copy of
Sandy.
Let's jump to horror movies, guys. I mean, that was big in the 80s too, because you started having. I mean,
81 was Friday the 13th.
Was that the first Friday the 13th?
So.
Yeah.
Well, that's huge. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Halloween was late 70s. But a lot of like Jason had to have taken a cue from Michael Myers, right?
I would think so. And I think Halloween's John Carpenter, right?
Yeah, I think
John Carpenter's great. Okay, yeah.
But I think Friday the 13th was if it wasn't like early 80s, it was late 70s, because I think both of those movie series started in the late 70s. But we don't see Jason until I think the third or fourth movie, because the first movie was his mother.
That's right. Yeah.
The second one,
they trick you into it though.
Yeah.
I can't remember if the second one was the one that had the weird sidestep that had nothing to do with the Voorhees family, but
I feel like that was that the second one?
That was a Season of the Witch is what it was called. It was
that was Halloween. You're thinking of Halloween.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The third Halloween.
I always get
Myers. Yeah.
I get those confused.
Corey Feldman grew up to be Jason at one point, right? At the end of one of
in real life?
I don't know.
Maybe. Has anybody seen that guy and Jason Voorhees together?
See,
I have seen him. I have seen him on TV. He is tiny. He is not big enough to be.
No, and he was just in Seattle on tour with his band.
Oh, was he really?
So he's got.
Dude, he has a huge following, and it's all. I should go to his next show because it's going to be crawling with girls.
Nice.
Or women, rather.
But those slasher movies, My Bloody Valentine, Motel Hell.
Motel Hell was interesting,
just
man.
Gaggles.
I remember seeing that.
I think that's kind of for producers and early young directors. That's a nice, easy entrance into
it really
film,
is,
right?
because you can create set pieces very cheaply. It's all dark. It's always at night, or it's claustrophobic, right? You're in a haunted house or a small,
and it's a lot of what you don't see as well.
Sure, it can be.
Music plays a huge part.
It's like you got one co-ed bouncing across the screen, and people pile in seats.
I saw a side boob, Don.
And man, I'm telling you that it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. I saw Friday
I saw her
13th, 1,
boobies.
2, and 3 in this building.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was like,
oh
my God.
Have either of you guys seen the Friday the 13th 14th video game that came out in the last 3 years?
No.
Essentially, okay, it's 7 players. One is Jason, and the rest are like the counselors. Oh. And if you're the counselors, you have to hide or figure out a way to get out of the camp to get away from Jason. But he has like these mystical powers that allows him to kind of teleport himself across the
motherfucker,
and he can break through walls and shit. It's a fun game to play if you like the movies.
Huh.
I got bored of it real quick because every time I played Jason, he moves really slow unless you have
but he's
worked up enough points to do the teleport thing, which allows him to transport from one side of the map to the other.
Travel by map like the Muppets.
Yeah, exactly. Except for that, it would be funnier if they actually had the animation of Jason starting here, the little dots going around
out the back door. She trips.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you can set booby traps and stuff inside the houses. So if you hide in the house for too long, he can find you.
But he and Mike Myers both are like indestructible. It's
right. You can't die.
For whatever
get shot. You get his arm chopped off.
And when you're playing as Jason, you hear his mother. Do it, Jason!
Nice.
Get those guys! And the way you kill the counselors is actually kind of amusing. It's all the funniest shit you see in the movies. Like, don't hide in a sleeping bag, folks. Just don't.
What? Anybody who's ever
it's like pulling the covers up over your head at night to keep the monsters
Seriously,
away.
I was watching my cousin play the game. He goes, "Watch this. This is great."
Oh my
and he finds a kid hiding in a sleeping bag. He grabs the sleeping bag, walks over to a tree, and just starts beating it like a dirty blanket or whatever.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Does anybody have? I mean, because they were all sort of all those slasher ones.
Yeah.
But also, we had John Carpenter's The Thing, which is for me the greatest monster movie of a creature.
Yeah,
it's not a Godzilla movie, right? But it's the greatest creature feature of all time.
Wes Craven did some great horror movies too. I mean, the original Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
that was Johnny Depp's theatrical, debut.
And who's the lady who won an Oscar for? Jennifer Connelly. Isn't she in that?
I don't think she's in
maybe
that.
she's in.
It's a gal that looks a lot like her, though, that's in that.
Yeah.
Heather I can't remember her last name, but the girl's name was Heather.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger was like, okay, you're going to take a slasher film, but you're going to make it more intelligent, right? Because he's only going to haunt you in your dreams, and it was a cool concept, right?
And the adults in those movies are exceedingly stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys have seen that car commercial or the insurance commercial that came out in the last few years, where a group of kids is running around.
Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Let's get in the running car. No, behind the chainsaws. Yeah, it's like
what? We didn't leave in the car.
A lot of intelligence needed in a horror movie.
Well, it's usually in the Freddy Krueger movies, the kids are the ones who are smart, and the adults are all stupid. It's like, no, come on, don't be silly. You just need some sleep. No, Mom, if I go to sleep, he'll catch me. Like, it's just a dream, Billy.
Yeah, That's why I hate those kind of guys, the Jasons, the Michael Myers, the Freddy Kruegers, because you can't beat them for nothing, right?
Just like move.
You're going to kill me, but I'm going to put up a friggin' fight, right? Sure. I'm going to do damage before I go, at the very least. But with those guys, no, I'm not going to do shit. So that always kind of damn it.
I'm surprised they didn't think of maybe they did. They did in the second movie where they had somebody else become Freddy's kind of
the Dream Warrior.
No, that was the third one. Freddy's Revenge, I think, was the second one, which is the one that's been deemed homoerotic because of all the whippings and the naked men's and whatnot.
Well, to be fair, a cigar is just a cigar.
Well, no, and there's a documentary about this too. They talk about like all those things, and the actor, the lead actor in that wasn't Robert Englund, actually did come out a few years after that movie. But yeah, there's a documentary about that movie.
It changed him.
The making of it and whatnot.
There was this horror movie I was in.
Yeah, and now I'm gay.
Yeah, you go back and if you go back and rewatch it, you'll see all those things and go, oh shit, I didn't see that before. Oh yeah, now I get it.
You know who used to freak me out a lot? I took forever to watch this movie, but it was the Hellraiser ones. The Pinhead dude.
Yeah. I saw the one where Hellraiser was in space. Yeah. It was so fucking bad. I saw it in theaters. It was one of those. Remember when the local papers would give you free movie tickets to see a movie? I think it was like the East Side would if you called in.
Sure.
Okay.
And they give you free tickets. So me and my brother went to see that. I don't remember which number it was, but the one where it was in space and they find the cube and open it, and the Cenobites or whatever they're called are on this space station. And it was the stupidest movie ever.
Well, I mean, they sent Jason to space at some point, right?
That was also terrible, but it was pretty fucking hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, because he couldn't die, right? They had to send him in the future, hundreds of years in the future.
Well, what it was is it was a
can't just throw that guy into a volcano.
No, what it was is it was in the future, and they go to Earth and do some archaeology shit, and somebody finds a cryo chamber that has Jason in it. Oh. And they take it back to dissect it and figure out what happened to this guy and why he's in cryostasis or whatever. And then he wakes up on the space station, and with future technology, he is nanites rebuild him to make him faster, stronger, better, whatever.
Oh my god!
So he's like bionic Jason.
Yeah, and, that's just what they need.
Exactly. It's that's why we just shouldn't have a space program.
One of the funniest deaths, was he grabs this girl by the scruff of her neck, dunks her head in liquid nitrogen, and then pulls her head out and smashes it on the countertop.
That's still creative. Right?
Yeah.
That's
that's fucking hilarious.
Nice.
Sick, but hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, besides The Thing for Mike and me, any other favorites?
For me, it was Elm Street and then Child's Play. And Gremlins.
I mean, Chucky was funny, but I always felt like I could just punt that fucker city block.
Yeah, no, because
but inherently they're comedies, though, right?
Sure.
Well, I mean, it's a horror with elements of comedy.
Okay.
They're scary first, and then they're funny second.
All right.
Yeah.
But
was Meg Tilly in that first one, or did she come later?
Tilly was like the second or third one.
Meg Tilly. Anyway,
I don't think it's Meg, but the last name is right. Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, it's Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Jennifer.
Yeah. Meg Tilly's suing you right now. Yeah.
I think you're getting two Family Guy characters mixed up.
Yeah, maybe so.
But Child's Play. I liked it. I was at the point that came out. I was a teenager, so I wasn't as terrified of suspense and gore and whatnot.
Yeah.
Gremlins scared the crap out of me, but I still like it.
Gremlins, and that was another one. It was the little creature monsters, right?
I think so.
It was.
They had Gremlins. They had.
That was not Spielberg. It was. Oh, maybe it was Spielberg. He was either a producer or he was the director. I can't remember. No, it was Dante. Joe Dante did that one, and then Spielberg was a producer because it was Amblin Entertainment that did that.
There you go.
What was the other one that was like Gremlins, but it was not?
Ghoulies.
And then there was
Critters.
Like Critters. Yes.
And the kid from the Critters is the one who plays the
these are all VHS Dreamboat stuff. Oh yeah.
He plays the son on American Dad, and he's also in the other Seth MacFarlane show, the Star Trek.
The Orville.
Oh. He's like the pilot guy. On the Orville was the kid from the original.
Oh, nice.
Critters.
Good to see he's still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orville's like 8 seasons or something. Yeah.
Critters actually had a TV series in the last 2 or 3 years. It's on Shudder.
And that's why cocaine is bad.
I managed to see clips of it.
Yeah. I mean that seemed to be the thing, right? It was, and I guess it still is, right? You get one winning formula, and it's like,
it gets copied by other people. So, we'll make it different. Well, instead of making them Gremlins, we'll make them like
Groomlins. It's so shitty.
We'll make them porcupines with lots of teeth.
Yeah, because they did it with the Beatles. It's just so.
Here come the monkeys.
I know. So dumb.
Here we come.
Nice. All right. Well, horror movies. What about
The Evil Dead?
Yeah, Evil Dead's fantastic.
Evil Dead, you can't pass that up, man.
Yeah, that was another one I had.
Dead by Dawn is one of the great creations of cinema.
Sam Raimi
amazing.
is an amazing director and writer.
Yeah, it really is.
Right.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Multiverse of Madness, right? That's a Sam Raimi deal.
Yeah, it was Multiverse of Madness with Sam Raimi. Yeah, you could definitely tell that
totally.
too.
No, he did every single Sam Raimi, all of it.
Oh,
it's all in
the original Spider-Man movies are all his too.
Which I really
and every single one of them has Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, no, it's
every
great.
single
Being
movie.
a jerk, typically.
Yeah,
that's great.
Bruce Campbell and his brother Ted Raimi is in all those as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's in The Man with Two Brains and shit.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, Bubba Hotep.
I tried watching that, and I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it.
Joe Lansdale, who wrote Hap and Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
Same guy.
That guy writes the first season of Hap and Leonard.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I haven't seen the second. I think
I thought
2 or 3 seasons.
Something like that.
Yeah. And now that the other actor passed away,
he
right?
Died, pretty young. He was 50-something.
Yes.
And he was the dad in...
Oz or something.
No, I never saw Oz, but in Lovecraft Country.
Oh, right.
Is John Majors also?
I haven't seen that. I wanted to, but it was...
It's cool.
Anything Lovecraft is going to be creepy as fuck.
Super creepy.
They did a great job.
And they handle that pretty well in that.
Yeah. It's kind of the real Green Book and all that stuff. Yeah.
Because that's pretty trippy shit.
Speaking of Lovecraft, before the whole DC and Warner Brothers Discovery shakeup, they were going to do a spin-off movie from the Aquaman movies about like the deep underwater creatures that you see briefly in the last Aquaman movie. They were going to do a whole movie about those guys,
the Leviathan stuff,
and then and it was just going to be all Lovecraftian, all of it. It was going to be a horror film. And I was like, I kind of want to see that.
What's the one with the lady from... this isn't 80s either, but she's the lady from the Twilight movies. And she's in that Deep Sea movie where... what's her name?
Kristen Stewart.
Yes.
Kristen Stewart, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That was not a bad
with
movie.
T.J. Miller and the French guys in it.
That's interesting. That's why I'm never going to work in an undersea lab, though, because they always get attacked.
Have you ever seen The Meg? That's a good shark film.
That's with Jason Statham, right?
It's
Who was
so
Olympic
good.
diver? So if anybody can fight a ancient species
mega shark,
it's
I
a
watched
fucking
that.
Olympic diver. I'm telling you.
I watched that movie going, they ripped this off from Jaws. This part is also from Jaws. This part is also from Jaws. But I loved it. I actually loved it.
Right? They didn't have to bother with some mechanism, right? They're just like, it looked like anything they wanted to look like.
Dude, they had so many problems with that shark. The shark's name is Bruce, by the way, if you didn't know.
For Jaws?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what a miracle. It worked so well.
Spielberg thought his career was over, but they managed to edit it into a functioning movie. So
Yeah. Because the actors make you believe that they're scared shitless. They do a great job.
Okay, I was 5, I think, when I was born in 71 and it came out in 75, so I was 4 when that movie came out. I remember seeing it because my mom didn't have a babysitter. Okay,
that's great.
And it was at a drive-in. All I remember most of the movie is my mom's armpit. Anytime I heard the music, I buried my face in my mom's.
Sure.
And then as soon as the music stopped, that's when the shit would happen. And I go, hey, it's safe now, right? And then there's an eyeball floating outside the guy's head. And I'm like, that traumatized me for decades, man.
Sure, well, that's the power of cinema. No lie.
And what's funny is I remember in the 90s there was a show on, I think it was the Discovery Channel. They had Music Makes a Movie. And it was like they played the scene from Jaws and they changed the music and it sounded happy. It's like, this isn't nearly as terrifying.
Sure.
And then
the ominous.
You have to have this creepy music.
John Williams. Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah.
Fucking John Williams is awesome.
They switched it with Baby Shark.
or even like the music from what was that British guy that always had like the scene where everyone's running around in circles and he's chasing the girls.
Benny Hill.
Benny Hill. If you had that music in,
God bless Benny Hill. Oh my God.
In the early days of YouTube,
what the fuck?
In the early days of YouTube, I took that music and that trailer or the trailer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, actually, and I put it in there. So you have Leatherface chasing the girls around with a hacksaw. Yeah, and they had that playing.
Nice,
that's so funny.
Benny.
I still have it on my YouTube channel.
British humor.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I can share that on the Facebook page.
They had a 1,000-year empire, really? And that was the culmination of their arts. I guess they had that Shakespeare.
Man.
And Julia Child. God bless you, Lassie.
Well, speaking of Benny Hill and comedy, let's talk about some of the comedy movies of the 80s, man. There was a ton.
There were so many. I couldn't think of all of them, but the ones I wrote down. Police Academy, the first one.
Oh, I forgot about the Police Academy movies.
Revenge of the Nerds, the original one. Big. Tom Hanks, The Goonies, and Ferris Bueller.
Yeah,
sure.
Great selections. I mean, there's all the John Hughes movies that you could consider either rom-com or comedy. I had Caddyshack and Stripes, which
nice.
you can't forget those two.
Oh, yeah, those were great.
Yeah, that's the fact, Jack.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah, and Caddyshack is beyond belief.
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
And the friggin', I guess the gopher thing was a total afterthought for the movie. And then there's like, I guess it tested well with audiences or whatever. It's got, okay, let's make them dance.
Yeah, it's insane.
Bill Murray was great in that. He was great in both of those.
Get that going for me.
Yeah. Cinderella story.
No, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy movies.
The Beverly Hills Cop stuff.
Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places.
Trading Places.
Awesome
great
movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the dollar.
But you wearing leader? I said, yeah.
Stick the guy in the gorilla suit and send him to Africa with the other gorilla. I think that one's the female.
Oh, Al Franken. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, Al Franken was the zookeeper guy.
One of the two zookeepers.
Yeah. Just a great movie. And then the fact that he used those guys in Coming to America, where they were living on the streets after everything. Mortimer and
I want to say that those guys were kind of based on the Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets.
Something similar, right?
Similar to that.
Those guys are fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, they're the best part of the Muppets, I think.
So I think in the last year there was an episode of SNL where Keegan Michael Key is his name. He was a host, and they did a bit where the Waldorf and Statler were like talking shit, and he's like a security guard and walks up and says, "I told you to knock it off," and starts beating the hell out of one of them.
Nice. I mean, what other comedy? Was there any of that that you quote incessantly?
Sure, but there's also the corny like boob kid ones, like Porky's.
Yeah, Meatballs.
Well, Meatballs.
The original Meatballs was 70s, late 70s. Was that
late 70s?
The original one with Bill Murray, but the ones from the 80s were like 2 and 3 were 80s. I think 4.
All those camp movies where either everybody was dying, or there was a lot of jiggly TNA.
Well, there's jiggly boobs in all of them.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
The only difference is you're either seeing it from a killer's standpoint or the guy who's trying to get laid standpoint.
There's different kinds of splatter, is what you're saying.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Better Off Dead.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Let's talk about that a little bit. That was a great,
was that
fun
80s?
little movie.
Oh, for sure.
It was 82.
Early 80s, I need to watch that again.
Ton of great young actors in that thing.
Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates, one of the most beautiful.
Judge Reinhold. Yeah. All the great, and all those people are like megastars
Sean
now.
Penn guy,
Sean
Nick
Penn.
Cage got his start there.
I think
that was his first small role.
Yeah, his first leading role was in Valley Girl.
Yeah,
sure.
That Valley Girl was different too.
Yeah, but that's 80s.
Yeah, but Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I mean, just the whole. I mean, that was mid 80s sort of teenage life, right? It was going to the mall, going to the movies, getting a shitty job at a shitty place, right?
I actually recently, in the last couple months, saw Valley Girl for the first time.
No, did you really?
I had never saw it before. I found out that the actress who in that movie you see her boobs for all of a few minutes is the same actress who plays Tommy Pickles on Rugrats.
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
The voice actress?
Yeah. And she's also Dottie in the Pee Wee Herman movie.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she's also like she's the singer in like one of the John Hughes movies where it's like I can't remember. It's either 16 Candles. It's one of the ones where there's like a blonde girl with like rocker hair, like singing a ballad. I don't remember which one it was, but that's her.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Mr. Hand, the pizza delivery. That guy was the guy that delivered the pizza.
Oh, Burgess Meredith, yeah.
No, well, that was Mr. Hand, but the guy that actually delivered the pizza was in a lot of movies. He's in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, Judge Reinhold, right?
No. Yeah, forgive me. We'll move on. I can't think of the guy's name, but he was a comedian, and it was in a bunch of 80s movies with small parts.
Wasn't it? Was he a Latino comedian? Was it Paul Rodriguez?
No, I don't think that rings a bell, but yeah, just a fun movie, man. High school life takes you back, right? I think I would have been was I junior high by that point? 82, yeah.
See,
somewhere in there.
Past times at Ridgemont High. Let me see here if I can. If the pizza delivery guy is listed, and sure, I'm sure he is.
Intern. I could just be doing this.
Yeah,
intern.
We're hiring. It doesn't pay anything, but
oh no, I was thinking. Mr. Hand was Ray Walton.
Yes.
You know, my favorite alien.
Favorite Martian guy.
Martian.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Spicoli spent all of his money on hiring Van Halen to play his birthday party or something.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
My dad's got a killer set of tools. He's a TV repairman.
Because that was Lawrence Fishburne, right? Or no?
I don't know.
No, it was it was Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, nice.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that's Academy Award. Forrest Whitaker.
That's a waitress. Paris pizza waitress. Pizza guy. No. Pizza guy. Taylor Negron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's in every fucking thing. He was in a movie in the
show Mike the picture of him.
He's actually related to the Three Dog Night singer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. No, he's got a great story of one night during the Helter Skelter years. It's on the Moth. It's one of the best stories ever. And Jim Morrison stops by, I think, and they're all smoking weed and listening to Jeremiah with the Bullfrog. It's like when the first Test record came out.
Yeah.
So they're all there kind of partying, and he's got a pet monkey. And it's just a fucking great story. Yeah, I forgot about that.
A pet monkey makes every story better.
Yeah, no, it's a great story.
It's not a good thing to own, but a pet monkey.
Taylor Negron always played like that stoner guy and everything. He was like before Tommy Chong was doing it and everything in all the TV shows and movies. Sure. But
and he's in
he was in that movie
Bachelor Party.
Yeah, he was in this great movie. It came out in like 2000 or 99. It's called The Stoned Age. Stoned plural or past tense stoned.
Sure.
Nice.
The Stoned Age where he's like the convenience store guy and the kids are trying to buy alcohol and he's like, "Hey man, you trying to get laid?"
Nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, comedy wise, I mean, there was all the Brat Pack stuff, but I don't know if you call that comedy or more rom-commy kind of stuff.
I think the stuff, largely a lot of this, the Brat Pack stuff was all John Hughes movies, wasn't it?
Not all of it. I don't think St. Elmo's Fire was
Young
huge.
Guns.
Or
Is Young Guns 90s or 80s?
That was...
I want to say
possibly.
I want to say like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, those were interesting.
Those are big.
What about, we spoke about Corey Feldman and talking about Young Guns.
The Coreys, yeah.
But, I was thinking the vampire movie.
Yeah, Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Yeah. And Corey's in all three of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
In case you didn't know, there was two sequels. And it went straight to video.
Yeah, what else jumps out to you guys?
The Lost Boys was a great film. I think that was one of the first like vampire films that I watched that it didn't like immediately freak me out and make me want to go watch something else.
Yeah. That was it Jason Patric?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Was the older brother
and Sutherland.
Yeah,
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer. Yeah. proof that you don't need to be a sparkly vampire to be a cool teenage vampire.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Kiefer, I think, Todd, you mentioned somewhere, or it was on your sheet, about, damn it, Kiefer Sutherland and the boys, Corey Feldman and Will Wheaton, and what am I trying to go for? It was Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, yeah. I forgot Kiefer was in that, actually.
Yeah, he was the older...
He was one of the bullies that was...
bullies, yeah.
That's right.
Kiefer Sutherland.
That was his first American movie, I think.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
You know, he's Canadian.
Yeah, Stand By Me is in the 80s, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's a Stephen King. Yeah, no, Stephen King was doing everything in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Spielberg movie, too, I think, wasn't it?
I don't know if he did it. I know it was based on a short story by King, right?
Yeah.
Called The Body.
Sure.
Yeah, the four boys roam through the woods all night long to go find a body that somebody says they saw.
Let's see here.
Great coming of age.
Sorry, I had to work that weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, fuck, I never get to go see anything cool. Delivering papers, like we talked about last week. It's like child labor.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Work for a month and go see one movie.
Right.
What is with all the ads, IMDb? Jesus
Jeez,
Christ.
thanks, IMDb.
I'm trying to find the director of the movie, and I'm getting inundated with fucking ads.
Yeah. And
Rob Reiner did this movie.
Rob
Oh,
Reiner.
there you
That's
go.
right. Because and it was, what was the guy that narrated it? Daniel Stern? Did he narrate it? Or
No,
was it was Dreyfuss.
Dreyfuss that did it, yeah.
Dreyfuss narrated. But yeah, great story. And
Oh, yeah, no,
River
so,
Phoenix.
Yeah.
When he was still cute and cuddly. And
Before he was young Indiana Jones.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, another great standout film.
That's a good film.
What about fantasy movies? And by fantasy, I don't mean what
There
they
can be
used to
only
show
one.
here. But yeah, Highlander was a great
Highlander,
one.
Oh, yeah.
Highlander's on my list of...
And Conan the Barbarian, man. I'll go to my grave. It's the best of the genre. It is. And what's John Borman's? Excalibur.
Excalibur was great.
It's a trip.
I remember Dragon Slayer being a really cool
Dragon
movie.
Slayer, yeah. But it's much, because it's practical effects, there's like 2 dragon scenes, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I really enjoyed The Princess Bride.
Yeah, that's on my
at
list.
the time, or you do now?
Both.
I still enjoy it.
Both. I read it with my daughter a couple of years ago. Haven't really thought about or seen the movie since, but in the 7th grade, I think it was, Mr. Monroe actually was reading parts of it in class towards the end of the school year, and because he had to get through it, he stopped reading the fake narration from the author.
Sure.
And then he would bring all 3 of the 7th grade classes out into the hallway and then read it to all of us.
Jeez, that's
just so he
awesome.
could get it done.
Sure.
And it was great. I enjoyed it immensely, and the movie was great.
During the pandemic, there was a thing that was raising money for charity where a bunch of celebrities, because they had to do something to keep themselves occupied, they did
an actor with no audience is doomed.
Go onto YouTube and search for Princess Bride home movies. And there's the whole movie is done, but it's all done from their home cameras and stuff, and
different scenes
from different actors, and and it's really funny because Jason, we were just talking about him.
Statham,
not Statham. The Forgetting Sarah Marshall. How I Met Your Mother, Siegel. He does like the best Andre impression in the whole thing.
Nice.
So
nice. Well, he does the "You shall not pass."
That's a different movie entirely.
I know. I'm just talking about his impersonation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I was like, what are you talking about? That's Lord of the Rings.
That's also from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Though.
That's right. Yeah,
anyway,
he did that in that movie.
And what other fantasy movie? I mean, we had Willow, you had Labyrinth,
The Dark Crystal, Legend,
Yeah,
Weird Science.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, that could be fantasy. I mean, it was
Last
fantasy for those
Starfighter.
two boys,
It's
right?
definitely fantasy for the two.
Starfighter.
The Last Starfighter was great.
Road Warrior. I mean, that could be more action-y, but
As far as I consider that now.
Post-apocalyptic, that's kind of
it's
fantasy.
fucking amazing, yeah.
you want to get out of here, you talk to me.
Yeah, no, it's great. And just the
only-
action scenes are unbelievable.
The only thing I remember from those movies is the little kid that had the metal boomerang.
Little chocolate dude, the feral kid.
That kid means business.
Yeah.
And
The guy that tried to catch the boomerang and it cut all his fingers off.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I was like, I want one of those boomerangs.
And it's sci-fi, I guess, or is it noir? But Blade Runner is the same sort of thing in that they picked a style, right, that the universe would possess. You know what I mean? The whole fucking shebang, and they stick with it.
Fantasy
right?
doesn't mean Dungeons and Dragons. It means that it's not real.
Sure.
So, I mean, Star Wars is considered fantasy. More than it is considered science fiction.
I would think, because they don't
it's
bother to
about
try to explain
space
how any of that
wizards
shit works. Yeah. It's just, well, there's midichlorians. It's like, fuck.
No.
Yeah.
Being a Jedi is not a sexually transmitted disease.
I know, man. It's so bad. And then it was just all like,
No, that was the dumbest thing they ever added to the Star Wars thing.
I just pretend that didn't happen. That's an Elseworld tale.
I just don't acknowledge the prequels at all.
The 4 minutes of Darth Maul are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, that was the thing that really upset me about those movies. They had the coolest bad guy and they killed him in the first movie.
Right.
I think it's under 4 minutes.
He is literally he is better than Kylo Ren and Darth Vader combined.
Sure.
You know,
He's badass. And then when he popped out that other blade on his lightsaber, you're like,
and the duel of
I got to meet Ray Park, and he's the coolest fucking guy ever.
Sure, yeah.
I said, how much of that was like the fight sequences? Was that stuff that you choreographed, or was that somebody else telling you what to do? Like, no, I did a lot of it.
yeah, because that's his main job.
He was
right?
he was like a competitive martial artist.
Yeah.
Sure.
He wasn't an
Yeah,
actor
British style stuff.
before that movie.
Stunt guy too, right?
I don't think he did that before that.
And
He was
he's in one of the X-Men movies.
he's in the first one as Toad,
right? Yeah.
But that was after Star Wars.
Yeah, sure.
I think it was. No, it was right around the same time because it was
How long
'99.
do we reveal ourselves to the Jedi? Yeah.
And the thing is, and none of them have him as the voice. He's the actor in the part, but the voice for Darth Maul is Peter Serafinowicz.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And in the animated stuff, it's
The Tick? I believe
Tick, yeah,
Call him
exactly.
by his real name.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, that's exactly it. When I saw him on a podcast, and he talked about doing the voice of Darth Maul, and I said, "No fucking way is he the voice." And I looked it up. Sure enough, in the movies,
Jeez, that's great. Huh.
Ray. I asked Ray about that.
He's made a couple of cool things, and he's in the newest Hobbit movies as kind of the Dickie Elven.
I don't know. I haven't
whatever.
watched them.
Yeah.
But no, he's a great actor. He actually,
like that guy.
he did. I found it on YouTube, I think, and downloaded it. But that song from the Beatles, where it's like, woke up, got out of bed, drove the chrome across my head. He actually expanded that part of the song, where it's just like a day in the life of that guy.
That's
Keep
awesome.
going.
And I kept going.
Mince eggs, hands on bacon.
Walking down the street, saw my friend.
Stepping gum.
Exactly. It was so funny. It was, and it's
Nice. Is he an American?
no, he's British.
Of
He's
course
British.
he is.
But if you guys want to hear that particular thing, it's on the end of that podcast episode, and the podcast is now called the ID10T podcast with Chris Hardwick. And just search for Peter Serafinowicz on the podcast, you'll find it.
Yeah.
So
Hardwick, you owe us another nickel.
He has Hearst money. He doesn't need our money.
No, he gives us a nickel for mentioning.
Oh, gotcha. No, yeah, he's not going to pay us. I wish.
Let's do this because our countdown clock is working. But let me run through the list of the best Academy Award winning pictures for the 80s and see if we've seen them, would like them, didn't see it, don't care, whatever.
Actually, I think of all these movies, the only one I saw was Rain Man.
Oh, well, 1980 was Ordinary People, and that was Timothy Dutton. He got an Oscar, I think, for Best Supporting or something, but I don't think I ever saw it.
No, is that Deborah Winger or some shit?
No, you're thinking in terms of endearment, but I think it might be, it's not Jane Fonda, but it might be Mary Tyler Tyler Moore maybe played the mom.
But Repo Man.
Yeah, so
It's ordinary fucking people.
Should have gotten it, right? Chariots of Fire, we talked about that a little bit. I know I've seen it.
Sure.
Heard the...
I was a cross-country kid for a while. I think I saw it on video.
Yeah.
We're running!
Yeah.
And running!
What about Gandhi with Ben
Kingsley?
Ben
Kingsley, yeah.
I enjoyed it. I don't know how
This is the first time he played an Indian person, right?
But
I really don't know how historically accurate it is.
Yeah.
I saw it at the time.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
And I remember that came out the same year as The Right Stuff, right? And people were mad that Gandhi won as opposed to The Right
can't
Stuff.
get mad at Gandhi, man.
Everybody's mad at Gandhi.
Oh, come on. You don't, the right doesn't need to have a reason to be angry at something.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But what an incredible human.
Yeah.
And is Ben Kingsley of East Indian descent?
No, he's not. He's white.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's,
I don't
he's
think
almost
he's English. Is he? Is he American?
have
you
no
think
idea.
he's British? Yeah,
Is he British?
I assume he's
I think
British
so.
anyway.
But yeah, the second time he played
So
it,
they had a white Brit play Gandhi? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Against the British government, right? Because that's what he was protesting for the
I
most
think he's
part.
British. I could be wrong,
I think-
but I don't think he's definitely not Indian.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played another Indian guru in The Love Guru with Mike Myers.
Yeah, but that's different.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
And he plays
His
in
name was-
Ender's Game or something. He plays like a New Zealander or something.
He was
Like,
in.
I don't know if I'm mad about that or not. They're
He's-
fucking actors. You know
he's
what I
in-
mean? You can wear makeup and be an actor. I don't give a fuck.
He's in like one of the many MCU movies as the
Mandarin, right?
the
Oh,
Mandarin.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was fantastic.
I loved
oh,
it.
yeah.
I like
And there's
him-
a cool short where
I like-
go to get him out.
I like him in that
great.
movie,
I think
but
I've seen that,
overall, I
yeah.
didn't like that movie. I mean, there was a lot of things about that movie that I had problems with, but
No, but the first time seeing the twist was wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I was like, wait, that guy's a Mandarin? That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
Because is that 2? Which one is that?
That was 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Iron Man 3, by the way, folks.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, 1983 brought us Terms of Endearment. And that is
geez, there you
Deborah
go.
Winger, right?
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
Shirley MacLaine.
Sure. I don't think I've seen that.
I don't
but,
think I have either.
I think I read the Mad Magazine breakdown of
Their
it.
take on it.
Yeah. So
Nice.
Is that Jack Nicholson?
Yeah. Didn't he play like the astronaut or something that everybody was lusting
I
after?
don't think I've seen it, but I think
I couldn't tell you.
remember the
I haven't
magazine.
seen any of these other movies. Like I said, the only one I saw was Rain Man.
Well,
of
84
these.
was Amadeus.
Yeah, no, I
that
saw
was
Amadeus. I really enjoyed that.
was Mozart,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
a
know
good
that
movie.
version. but
Rock
they
Me
had that-
Amadeus?
Yeah, Rock Me Amadeus.
And it's very clever. It is. It's Tom Holtz or whatever from
Maybe I'll go back and
Animal
watch
House,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So, and he does a great job. And then it's F. Murray Abraham who plays. Oh, fuck, who's his foil? His
Oh, the Italian guy,
yeah,
right?
the other composer who he just
yeah.
fucking can't quite do it because Mozart's smart.
The
You know what I
reality,
mean? It's
though,
like-
I think, is that they were actually friends.
it sure could be, and I think
But-
they are,
think
but
it's
they're also
Creative
competitors.
license, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I think it's mostly fiction. The
I bet
story.
it is, and I think they made a musical or a stage production out of it. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
but it's an enjoyable film.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, 1985 brought us Out of Africa with was it Meryl and Robert Redford?
Never saw it.
Played a hunter in Africa or whatever. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've seen scenes of it, and it does look pretty. So cinematography and stuff was really cool. But 1986 brought us Platoon.
Yeah,
we talked about the
that's a tough
Vietnam
one, yeah.
movies in there
Yeah,
with
well, is it-
Oliver Stone.
Never
First
saw
time
it.
Willem Dafoe got introduced to us, right? Pretty much.
And
You know.
Johnny Depp was in that one. That was one of his early roles as well. Yeah.
Willem Dafoe?
Small.
Really? That was his first
the
movie?
first time I remember seeing him.
Yeah, I don't know if he
Wasn't he in Passion of the Christ as Jesus?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
after.
that was a few years.
That was after that. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, but this is an Oliver
Not
Stone
the Passion.
joint.
It was the Last Temptation.
The Last Temptation.
Last
yeah.
Temptation.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
was.
Yeah,
Which I saw at the Cell Center
I
Theater.
thought that was like 70s.
No.
no,
Yeah, that's got Barbara Hershey.
it does.
And,
yeah, she played Mary Magdalene, right? Yeah, and damn it, he was just there, and I lost him.
Depp?
No, the guy that was in Last Temptation of Christ. It was the dude that played, I think, Peter, one of those guys. But crap, it'll come back. That guy. 1987 brought us Last Emperor,
which I feel like I've seen, but I think I've seen it too. Because the director of that has done a bunch of cool stuff. I can't remember.
Yeah, and he was the little Chinese child emperor.
Mm-hmm. As the war kind of took away that power structure.
Yeah. Todd mentioned the only one on this list that he knows is Rain Man, and I've actually never seen friggin' Rain Man.
Yeah, definitely not wearing my underwear. Yeah.
Sure.
I have never seen I might have to see that.
Youngish Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
That's only a few years into him being everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
as much as I dislike Tom Cruise, this is probably one of his best movies as far as I'm concerned.
And
it wasn't because of him; it was all because of Dustin Hoffman. Fucking killed it.
What do you do? I mean, come on, he's Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah,
but so when was like Risky Business? When was that? 84?
That would have been 83, 84.
Yeah, early 80s. Yeah,
5 years into it or whatever.
He had Taps too, but he wasn't the star in Taps. If you remember that, but he was the crazy kid, right? He was the one that wanted to shoot them all up at the end.
Yeah, I think he got that nervous energy out by jumping around on a couch.
Yeah, in Risky Business.
And Oprah.
He became level 7 in Scientology.
Yeah,
that's how he got it.
Yeah, I think that was pre-Scientology though.
I bet it was.
But he was also an outsider.
He was actually introduced. He was introduced to Scientology after Top Gun.
Yeah.
And when was it Top Gun?
84? 84, 85.
I was thinking 85.
Something like
it's
that.
in the mid-80s either way.
It was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Deborah Winger brought him in.
And you could almost feel like The Outsiders was a Brat Pack movie. Because
definitely, everybody was in that.
Yeah. And I'm excited about that because I love the book, I love the movie, and my daughter has to read that in language arts class.
S.E. Hinton?
She's got to read it. So I went and bought my own copy and might have, because I just cut the cord or just cut the cable. I had it recorded. It was on like HBO or something, and I recorded it on our NVR DVR back at the house. And now we've cut off the Comcast. I no longer have it, but I'm sure I can find it on DVD.
It's got to be around
It's probably on HBO Max or Netflix
somewhere. Yeah. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm excited to read that.
I need to get that movie.
And
been years.
Finally, 1989. Yeah. Didn't see it, but I know the controversy. Driving Ms. Daisy.
Well, I lived it. I had a kid.
Did you?
So all you do is drive those fuckers around, man. It's like
the Mike taxi.
Wait a minute. I thought that movie was about a black man driving a bitter old white woman around.
That's what it was.
But children are the absolute concentration of all care and power in the world. It's a child. Yeah. A child dictates every single moment.
Dana Carvey once said in one of his stand-up comedies, he's like, if you ever want to know what it's like to have a child, adopt a senior citizen for a week.
Yeah, man.
I don't want these peas.
And so that's Morgan Freeman and Jessica Tandy.
Yeah. Jessica Tandy,
And I never saw it.
Yeah. And then I never saw it either. That was a movie my mom. All these movies you mentioned in this list of '80s Oscar winners are all movies my mom would have seen. Because she was all about.
I just include. I mean, I liked Platoon. I think is the only one that maybe I liked. Gandhi. The rest of them I don't know very well.
And that's Charlie Sheen in Platoon.
Yeah, that was his breakout too. I
Tom
think.
Berenger.
Charlie Sheen's first lead role, I think, but his first role in a movie was Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. That's right. He was the bad guy in the cop shop, right?
Yeah, he was so what are you in for?
Yeah. And Kevin Dillon was in Platoon, Matt Dillon's little brother.
Who ended up having a good career, too.
Yeah.
My favorite Platoon reference is Naked Gun, where Drebin goes out on a date with Priscilla Presley, and they're holding each other close and laughing as they walk out of a theater, and then you see
they're what?
They're Platoon, and
they're not crying laughing, folks. They're hysterical with laughter.
It's great.
I loved it in Hot Shots Part 2. I think think it was when Charlie Sheen's going down the river on the riverboat and he sees Martin Sheen on the shore and he goes, they both look at each other. Loved you on Wall Street.
Nice.
Isn't that the only time they work together in the same movie?
About Apocalypse Now,
Wall
by
Street.
the way. Yeah.
Apocalypse Now, was that 79?
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it might have been 79. That was a fantastic film.
It's a very important film.
And what was the book that it was based? The Darkness? No. God,
the Joseph Conrad.
The Joseph Conrad book, and I read that years and years ago, but yeah, what a great film that was. Have you ever seen the redo?
The name of it is Heart of Darkness.
The Heart of Darkness, yeah. But the one that they kept all the director's cut where they had all the missing scenes.
Oh no,
it's like an extra hour long or something. But I mean, they go to a rubber plantation by French people.
French
there's a bunch of added stuff.
They're going through time. They're reverting back through time.
Right.
That whole trip, because that's when they finally get to the cult tribal.
Right.
Oh, fuck, it's rough.
Did we already go through the rom-com movies?
If you got some rom-coms you want to talk about, let's talk about them.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of the ones I put on that we've already talked about, so 16 Candles, Princess Bride, but we didn't talk about Can't Buy Me Love, Splash, and Mannequin. Those are movies that I remember fondly.
Yeah, Mannequin's got one of the Brat Pack kids.
It's got Andrew McCarthy, right?
Yep.
The Brat Packer, yeah. And that was just a weird little fantasy movie. I mean,
it was just the guy fall in love with the mannequin, and the mannequin comes to life, and it's
the Sex and the City lady?
Kim Cattrall,
Kim Cattrall,
yeah. And Can't Buy Me Love was also a Brat Pack guy.
I don't remember Can't Buy Me Love.
Dempsey,
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey.
Dr. Heartthrob, or whatever the fuck they call him.
Yeah. Before he was cool, I guess. But
this is back when he was a dweeb, yeah.
Yeah, he was a high school kid that...
Anthony Michael Hall. He was basically, the movie was about this kid who was trying to get this girl to go out with him, and he finds a way to get her to talk to him because she damaged somebody's jacket or whatever, and he offered to give her money to buy a new one to replace it. And
if she would pretend that they were dating,
pretend that they were really good friends or dating,
high school cliquey stuff.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah,
Nick Cannon actually did a remake of it in early 2000s. Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Yeah.
Same story, different character, different people.
Harry Met Sally, that's 80s, right?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Isn't that the one that has Reiner's mom going, I'll have what she's having?
Yep, when she had the fake orgasm in the deli. Yeah. And then I think that line was ad-libbed by Reiner's mom.
Yeah.
But then Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, and Tom Hanks, I mean, they did Sleepless in Seattle, right? That was 80s.
Yeah, they actually filmed it in Seattle, too.
Yeah.
Unlike most movies where they say, we're in such and such town, and it's like Vancouver. BC.
Yeah.
I actually saw the house from the movie. It's still on Lake Union.
I do a lot of kayaking, and we actually kayaked Lake Union one time, and then we're like, oh yeah, the Sleepless in Seattle houseboat's over here somewhere, and sure enough, you go over there and you can see the sign for it.
There's a sign now.
Stuff. Yeah.
There's recently somebody had purchased the Goonies house, and he's got signs all over saying Goonies welcome now, and I went online to find out more about this dude. He's like a Bitcoin dude. He's like, he made a bunch of money doing investments, and he bought the house for 1.6 or whatever.
Yeah, the previous owners didn't like Goonies showing up, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that had they put up shades over the deck so you couldn't see the house.
Yeah, there was an interesting crime story about a month ago. Some guy, I think he's Canadian. Of course, he's Canadian. Came down from Canada and was hanging out in Astoria. Went to the Goonies house. I think he stole some fish from a fishmonger. Went to the Goonies house, threw it on their front porch, right? And then later in the day went and stole a 25-foot yacht or boat and tried to cross the Columbia River right there, which is treacherous because it's no joke right there. You have to know what the hell you're doing in a boat.
It's a massive river.
It's a huge river, and got stuck and the boat was going to sink.
Fuck, it ain't his boat. What the fuck does he care?
And then the Coast Guard came and rescued him. They had divers dump in. They take him to the hospital, and the guy friggin' wakes up and leaves the hospital, right? And they're like, "Oh, no, that guy stole the boat."
Yeah,
so
no,
then the cops are like, Keystone Cops, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And then, but they ended up finding him at like a homeless shelter, so like a warming area or something, and he was arrested and all this stuff for all the little mayhem he was causing in this little town of Astoria. But yeah, interesting stuff. But yeah, I'm glad to see that the Goonies house, because I mean it's part of our culture, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't hide that from people.
What's really funny is not the house right immediately next door, but the house on the other side of the house immediately next door has a sign that says "Goonies, go away!" Big sign, and it's and then the guy in between the Goonies house and the one that says "Goonies, go away" says, "Don't listen to this dick," and it has this sign on their house. It's really funny.
All are welcome. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna buy a house unless that house has been in the family since the 70s or something, right? Before the movie came out.
And I mean, how much traffic is this really
getting?
It gets a lot.
Does it really? Well, that's something, right?
Like every day?
It's like,
you think?
The only other house that is like...
Yeah, no, the coast of Washington. Is this on the coast or it's on the Columbia?
It's on the coast.
Astoria, but it's on the coast. It's where Astoria is like right there on the...
Right on the edge of...
curve where the mouth of the Columbia meets.
So nobody's down there besides August, right? Because it's cold and windy as fuck, man. It's like 35 degrees and 40-mile-an-hour winds.
There's not that many houses that were in movies and TV shows that are like famously like in those things that you can walk up to and see.
I guess the Twilight stuff, kind of, right? There was she had a house.
The Brady house.
And the Brady
house was actually on an actual street. I actually saw that house. We drove up to the house. It was 8 o'clock at night, and there's nobody there, and you couldn't walk in or anything. But just before the pandemic, Discovery Channel bought that house.
Huh. That's right. Yeah.
We talked the Home and Garden or whatever that channel to do all the home renovations, and they made the inside look like the studio.
Yeah.
So now you can tour it now.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know, man. One thing we didn't talk about was movie soundtracks. We kind of talked about that on our big music extravaganza, but
the 80s were, where they made that as into a big deal.
Yeah. Some of the best soundtracks come from the 80s.
Yeah. Sure. Because you had a couple before that, like Saturday Night Fever or something like that.
Yeah,
but the 80s, it was everything. That was huge, man. From Flashdance to... obviously Top Gun.
I didn't think about Flashdance.
Right, but the soundtrack was huge. Fame might be 70s.
I think it's early 80s.
Is it? Okay.
I think it's early 80s.
But still same sort of thing, right? It's just a massive...
The TV show at least was 80s.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Maybe the movie was 70s. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Oh, yeah. But the kind of... because, they had records before that. Well, I guess you could say, they had musicals back then. I'm sure Singing in the Rain sold a lot of records, too.
My sister had the soundtrack to Grease, and she had it on an endless play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like, if you picked a movie from, 1976, like the first Rocky, you probably don't... there might be a soundtrack, and there might be, one...
But is anybody buying that LP?
Song. Right. But then you get to the 80s, and you're looking for a band, like a rock band or a R&B band, something to put songs on.
Oh yeah,
the end of
Kenny
the movie.
Loggins
I'm all right.
Fuck, man.
Yeah,
dude, the guy sold millions.
Because didn't he do Footloose too?
Yeah,
Footloose and Top Gun.
Top Gun, Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Did he do? He did Caddyshack. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that guy sold records. Loggin and Messina. That dude, he knows how to write that kind of shit, man. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he is. He's still around.
Call me.
Actually, it's funny is he on the video game Grand Theft Auto 5. When you're driving a car, you have 20 different radio stations. The rock station has DJ Loggins.
Nice.
It's Kenny Loggins as the DJ for that.
Jeez, that's a hoot. That's a bit of a surprise to be on a grand.
And he makes
you know what they do in that game, Kenny?
What's funny is if you listen to
he's like, yes, I do.
If you listen to the station long enough,
where's my check?
If you listen to the station long enough, he'll make references to the movies he's had songs in.
Nice. I think a lot. And huge soundtracks.
Yeah.
Plus, what's the one with that might be 90s. But there's a lot of examples.
Which one?
A lot.
What you were going to say?
The Bodyguard or whatever with Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Is that 90s?
I think that might be.
I think that's 90s. But that was gigantic. Gigantic. Millions and millions and millions of copies.
Millions of copies.
Absolutely did not like that movie.
I've never seen it.
I'm not a fan of the movie.
I did see, what's the one where he stays with the native guys? Dance with Wolves. I saw that with my mom at Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 80s? 90s.
I think 90s. Early 90s too. Yeah.
Kevin Costner was huge in the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s was kind of
his stride. Yeah. He was in a few, like, what was it? No Way Out, I think, was one of them.
He was the Robin Hood that didn't speak with an English accent.
Yes.
Miscasting at its finest.
I love that movie. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's hilarious that Mel Brooks took a shot at him. Like, unlike other Robins, I have an English accent.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Men in tights.
Yeah.
Tights.
Yeah. No, I think I saw that at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, speaking of Mel Brooks, have you guys seen any of the episodes?
Of History of the World Part 2?
Yeah. Oh, I haven't known.
No, because I don't have that.
When did it come out?
It started they do 2 episodes a night, so it's all all out now, so you can get a trial of Hulu and watch
Nick Kroll.
Oh, is it on Hulu?
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, well, it's on Hulu.
I bet it's absolutely dumb and absolutely hysterical.
No, it's the thing is like
it's good to be the
Mel
kid.
Brooks is only a part of it in figurehead only. He had nothing to do with the writing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so he introduces. He's the voiceover, the introduction to every episode. And
how old is Mel Brooks now?
He's almost 100. Yeah,
he's 96,
something.
97.
And he did Young Frankenstein too. Right?
Yeah.
Was that 80s?
Oh yeah.
Put on the rest.
That might be the early 80s, right? 'Cause he's got Terry
80s.
Carr.
Terry Carr.
Oh, it's great. Oh my
Walk
God.
this way.
It's so good. It's so dumb.
He had an enormous schwanz.
Rolling the hay.
And that's Peter Boyle, right?
Yeah.
As,
Who I think is a Tony Award winner.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh my God.
He was Raymond's dad on Everyone Loves Raymond.
Sure.
Yeah, but
I think he was the only good part of that show.
Oh, of the Raymond Show?
Raymond Show,
Sure. And he was roommates with Gene Hackman when they were acting like Juilliard or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
The thing that ruined Everyone Loves Raymond for me is the fact that someone pointed out that the lead character Ray, what's his name?
Romano. Yeah.
Romano. Someone pointed out that he sounds like Kermit the Frog.
Well, so he's like if you took Seinfeld and made him not funny.
to be fair, the show Seinfeld in my mind is not funny either.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Seinfeld. Yeah. I don't think Seinfeld's all that funny.
However, Seinfeld
I still stand by my statement though.
Seinfeld
he squeezed even that little bit of zest out of it.
Seinfeld's comedy, his stand-up is hysterical. The show is so fucking stupid. And for me, maybe, and I've said this before, I think it's because the characters in the show are a little awkward and might be a little bit on the spectrum. So all this stuff that they're doing that people think are quirky and funny are things that I fucking do on a daily basis. I don't see why it's funny.
Yeah. Cat won't get off my lap. What is the deal?
And I think the best spoof or made poking fun of that show was on the Clerks animated series. Gilbert Gottfried does an impression of Seinfeld. he makes just like a walk-on appearance. It's like those side segments for Family Guy.
Yeah.
He goes, "What is the deal with talking like this? I do not get it."
Yeah. Gottfried. And everybody loves that guy.
Dude, he's going to be missed for sure. I loved him on all the roasts. He's so damn funny. And quick, so fucking quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
You should look up Gilbert Gottfried talking roasts Roseanne Barr.
Oh, nice.
He goes, so this man walks into this house with a sheep. He says, "This is the pig I've been fucking," and his wife says, "You idiot! That's a sheep. Shut up! I was talking to the sheep."
Oh, that's bad. Oh, Godfrey. Dirty boy.
Oh, he tells it way funnier than I do. Oh my God, he's so funny.
All right, well, I can't think of a more positive note than Gilbert Gottfried's sheep joke to end the episode on. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Our Town Podcast number 13, our 80s movie spectacular. Let us know in the comments what movies and memories you have. Share with us. And like, subscribe.
Yes, please.
Hit the little bell if you're watching us on the YouTubes.
Tell your friends, tell your coworkers,
subscribe on Spotify so you can listen to us on your way home from work.
And a lot of these have had like 500 views and such. It's just more all the time, but it's like I've never had anybody tell me. They listen to it. I'm like, is it Russian bots? If so, thank you, comrade.
Thank you, comrade.
We have about 50 subscribers on Spotify, so roughly about 50.
Yeah, right on.
So do we want to give like a sneak peek at our top 5?
Oh.
At least one of ours?
Ooh.
I guess we could.
I mean, you want to give incentive for these people to subscribe, right?
Well, sure.
Oh, yeah, you gotta give them the hook. Gotta hook them.
So, want to give our number? Which one do you want to give?
Whatever, man. Where do you want to start?
Let's say number 3. How about number
3? All right, number 3 is a good one for me.
Well, anybody want to go first?
I'll go first. I as far as favorite hero characters, I said Marty McFly is number 3.
Oh, nice. Sure.
All right. Don't argue with that because that's my number 2.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
I'm going with, even though it's one film, but the series stands alone, Optimus Prime.
Oh. He was on my list, too.
And one of the great voices.
Right? Oh, Peter Cullen is amazing.
He's got it really is.
He's also the voice of Eeyore.
Nice.
Jeez.
Nice.
Yeah.
My number 3, and this is Todd I think mentioned it, but the top 5 greatest action hero characters of the 80s.
Right.
Mine, number 3 is Max Rokitansky, Mad Max himself.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Road Warrior and Beyond the Thunderdome, because I think the original Mad Max
might have been
79.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, folks, if you want to hear the other 4, the other 3 for Charles here, because you already gave it away.
Hey,
go subscribe at our website.
Do it. And then we'll see you next week. Next week is our big tinfoil hat
We're
party.
going to do conspiracy theories, folks. This is going to be good. I love conspiracy.
It's gonna be a great show. All right, that's it.
Chupacabra.
All right.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, vlogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.